Manchester United against Fulham, and Stephen Wyeth. Watch this one.
We were going to have to answer a lot of questions, and I thought we did that for a lot of it. Boys put in a big effort and really desperate to win the game today. To go up, to come back, similar to last week, and be pegged back. To then go again, it was so delighted for Ben. You know, he's to come on and have a moment like that. It's a huge moment for us all, but for Benji getting that goal in front of the Stretford end, there's not many better places, if there's not a better place for me, to win a game of football like that.
There's no doubt there was talent here. What's changed since Michael Carrick's come in?
Obviously, as you can see, that improvement just changed by being compact, being in every single moment, not letting everything go through the middle, and that helps us a lot. And you can also see that he benefits on results, and especially when we can take the ball, so we can go in front.
The story of the game, in my opinion, started with that first goal from Man United that started from a terrible decision from John Brooks, that penalty that was given, completely bad decision from him. I understand that they are saying completely different things, but all the feeling that we have, our players, people that was watching the game, the penalty was given by the tackle, definitely.
So do you feel they've re-refereed that moment?
That is my feeling, definitely was. And after the feedback that I got from the fourth official, that the ref will come to the screen, and after suddenly they changed completely the decision and they gave a free kick. Okay, we have to accept, even if my opinion is difficult to accept, you have to accept.
OK, let's deal with this first of all. So Marco Silva's opinion was that the penalty was given for the tackle, for the slide tackle, where he actually got the ball. Now, we are told that the communication between the referee and the VAR official was all about the pull. And if we follow that, then they've done this correctly. If that was the conversation on the pull.
Yeah, and at the start, let's talk about really good player from Cunha, and then Quaker will say he's done well. But again, as an attacking player, when you're pulling me back, it slows me down here. It being Cunha, to allow you to get back. If he doesn't pull, Cunha's away from him. So I think ultimately becomes the right decision. The biggest issue I have with all of this is the way that Fulham celebrated this, high-fiving and not doing their jobs. The danger's there. Again, they give a good decision here because it's outside the box. But at this moment now, Jimenez, I've been in this position. You see Casemiro, you know he's good. You're the last man in the zone. You've got to block him. He's making his way out towards the other end, and Casemiro comes in and just crashes another goal for Man United.
Because just to clear that up, because they were looking at the pull, that means they could then say, no, it was outside the area, and give it as a free kick. That's why they've followed that. Marco Silva is saying, if they were looking at the tackle and not the pull, then that's a different matter, and it would have been a drop ball, and it would have been.
That's his argument.
That's his argument.
We don't know what he's been told.
No.
As far as
we are told that all the communication was on the pull.
So they got it right.
OK. Let's move on to the game itself. This may be an unpopular opinion, but are Manchester United going to miss Casemiro?
Yes, I think they will, because, well, first and foremost, form is temporary, class is permanent. He has had some bad spells, but this is a highly intelligent footballer who knows what he's doing and has been around the block. And today, when United were struggling a little bit, he was the calm one. He was the one making things happen, and also doing the little bits of quality defensive work that you should be doing when you play in these defensive areas. We can see here, reading situations, protecting the ball. If you play him in the right formation with the right people around him, which sounds really obvious, by the way, but not everyone's done that recently. Little tackles like that, you're going to get the best out of him. Now, we know he knows how to snuff out danger, but the calmness on the ball is something we know he's good at as well. But today especially, those pivotal moments in attacking areas were so important, because United weren't as good as they were in the last 2 weeks. That's a phenomenal header, irrelevant of how it's come about. It's a brilliant header. And his confidence was growing. He was spraying it about, dictating the play, and as I said, in a game where they needed someone to step up, because Bruno wasn't at it today, to be honest, unlike him, because he's been outstanding. He stepped up and he started dictating things, and he had the two really important moments for United to get them up in this game and give them the platform to go on and win it. Just there, spotting the danger, doesn't stop and admire it, and when he gets into these positions here, he's got this capability, that clever little pass, good finish from Matheus Cunha, and then we'll see here on the slow-mo the little
great angle.
Yeah, the old look away. Everyone loves that one. Well, not everyone. I've had coaches in the past tell me not to do that. But that's
Why would you not want to?
I think when you're young, you get told because you're taking the mickey or you're thinking you're better than you are. You know, he's earned the right, hasn't he? But he was outstanding, and I think even though he said he's leaving, he still wants to give everything for the club and get his team in the top four, and they'll be able to rely on him from now to the end of the season.
We'll look at the bigger picture of what both teams did well or badly in a moment. But as far as the winning goal is concerned, you can both credit United and criticise Fulham, can you?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I should take this first one here. Just look at this from a Fulham point of view. Bruno Fernandes looked, Bassi could see him. Bassi now tries to get tight. For me, as a player, and Daddy will tell you this about, you've got to put him in the stand at this point. Take the yellow card, nothing happens.
Or maybe just pull him over.
Yeah, Anderson leaving his leg back there. I never knew Daddy Murphy never made tackles. But at this point now, let's look at it from a Benjamin Sesko point of view. Again, really good play. He's on the move. It's not a great run. This touch is really important because there's nowhere else he can put it after that. Kills the ball in front of him and just see his body can't turn fully, so it's a wonderful hit. And then just to think of where he's been, 2 in 17 under Amorim and now 4 in 4 since Amorim's left. And he hasn't started the last 2 games, so it's really great for him and really great for Man United.
Also as well, you know the attitude of the lads who come on who haven't been playing. I think it was Cunha who's come off the bench and scored, Sesko. I mean, that takes good management to keep the players on board and motivated in that respect.
It was a different type of challenge for them, wasn't it, today? As everybody has said in the build-up, it's different to the City and Arsenal games for United. Fulham did cause them problems. United were probably, the least impressive of their 3 so far under Carrick?
Yeah, I think so. Fulham were really good, deserve some credit. I thought United got caught in between a little bit. The last 2 games they've been able to sit in and counter and then press on the odd occasion they're set. Today, I think sometimes they went to press, sometimes they were a bit, should we drop off? And they got played through a bit too often in the first half. They were better in the second half until Casemiro went off. They lost a bit of composure when they brought him off, but sometimes it doesn't matter how you win. Keep the momentum going, keep the confidence going, and keep the buzz with the fans going.
But then, from a Fulham point of view, if they can finally ever get a striker or a couple that can score consistently, they're so good going forward. Just that last little bit of quality, they'd be right up there. They're only 6 points off where Man United are now, so I think they can look at it with some positives as well. But a little bit more investment, they could be right up there.
Yeah, United earlier on, I was sat there in the media lounge, 2-0 up, and I was smirking and smiling. You were in there as well. I was watching it with David Ornstein, and all of a sudden Fulham just kept going, didn't they? They wouldn't give in, and then when they scored that second goal, I was like, oh my goodness gracious. And then if you just said you wanted one player to score a goal, if anybody, any United fan, any United coach would have said, I want one player to score a goal, it would be Sesko, because he's had a real difficult time since he's come to the club. And Cunha and then Burmo just look like Manchester United players straight away. The way in which they take the ball, they attack defenders. And Ahmad's come back from AFCON looking really strong, and Bruno's in great form. So you've got that front four that looks like it's established with Dorgu, who I've not even mentioned. So he looked like he was just playing a bit part role, but that will be so big for Sesko to score a winning goal at the Stretford end. To come back like they did, it very much Manchester United like. Michael Carrick will have had sort of not making it easy for himself. He'll be there tonight thinking, you know what I mean? Because this was again another test, another type of test where a team are sort of lower down the table than obviously Arsenal and City are the 2 best teams in the league. So a different type of test, different type of question. He'll have some work to go through with his players, but yeah, a very important day for Manchester United, very important day for Michael Carrick, and a glorious sort of end to the game, which is typical of Manchester United historically, where they sort of, make it very hard for themselves, but then go and score the late winner. And it was a good work down there. He let the ball roll across his body, Bruno Fernandes, just again putting it simply into a box. Sesko just gets it, rolls it, and he's got a really good strike on him. That's one thing he does have. And a big 3 points. I think that would have been a devastating sort of dropping of 2 points in terms of what you're talking about with Chelsea and Liverpool. It's going to need to be pretty consistent now. I think the others are going to really ramp it up, and United look like they're in a good place.
Did you see Liverpool last night?
I did. I got back about 8:10. And at that point, Newcastle were doing really well in the game. I was enjoying my Saturday evening. And then they score, and they hit the post. I think Harvey Barnes hit the post, didn't he? And they were doing really well and look a real threat. They score, and all of a sudden, but the response from Liverpool was excellent. The response from Liverpool was excellent, and I've been saying it for quite a while. I mean, Ekitike has been fantastic. I've not been saying that for quite a while, but Wirtz has just got to get himself in that left channel as close to the penalty box as he possibly can, because he really can slow his mind down in those final moments. Wirtz, he's got the real composure, cold mind. I've said all season, I think he drops far too deep. And there is an element of watching sort of Bruno Fernandes now close to Mbeumo, watching Pablo close to Castellanos last night, watching these two. Just get Wirtz close to Ekitike, get them close together, get them near to each other, and you'll be in business. You'll score goals because he's got a real sort of what would be quality in tight areas, and he can find the pass, and he can manipulate the ball and understand where he is. He knows where he is, so it's a real unique quality to be able to do that, and that's why Liverpool paid the money for him. But he looks like he's starting to purr a little bit now. It was a great response from Liverpool in what's been a real difficult time for them. So yeah, I think Chelsea, United, Liverpool, Villa right now.
What did you feel walking away from Chelsea last night about Chelsea over the course of that crazy 90 minutes?
I mean, I watched Chelsea, and honestly, I can look at them. They look like an under-10s team when they play for parts of matches, and then all of a sudden they can turn into what looks like a real good football side. You know, that's got a real energy about them and some good quality players. You'd have to say Liam Rossini will look back upon it, and he made the 7 changes, which I'm not going to criticise him for, because I actually think that can be deemed as brave. I hear a lot of managers talking about, I trust my squad, but they play the same team near on every single week. They don't trust the squad. Actually, to change your players when he's had the sort of run of games that he's had is in some ways, he's admirable. He said to those players, I want you to go out there. He said to Gittins, he said to Delap, he said to Garnacho, he said to Hato at left back, Badiashile, get out there, go and play. I trust in you. Go and play. But too many changes. It's too many changes. I remember the most difficult games I had for United were near the end of my career. A couple of games whereby the manager would leave. He used to make 5 and 6, 7 changes regularly from sort of Wednesday to Saturday, because he did trust his squad genuinely. But when he made 7 sometimes in an awkward game, West Ham having prepared for a week in better form, you can get caught out with that lack of sort of familiarity with the other players. And it almost feels like you're part of the reserve team all coming in at once. Rather, if you make 3 or 4 and you've got that stability around you of the players who've been playing, you feel like you're cuddled by that sort of what would be consistency that's existed before. So I think he'll learn from that, Liam Rossini, and maybe making those types of changes again. And in the first half, I have to say that West Ham were absolutely fantastic. They dominated the game, even though they didn't dominate possession. They dominated the game. They had the best chances. They were more physical, and that left side of Chelsea was obliterated. And look, Alejandro Garnacho is a player that sort of divides opinion, I think, at times. A lot of people are questioning, is he top class, or where is he in the pecking order? What was difficult to watch last night was a young player like that who's gone to Chelsea. He looked shot to pieces in terms of his confidence on that left-hand side. And I'm not just talking about when Wan-Bissaka kept going off him running forward, but actually when he got the ball, his first touch was back, and then he just kept going back, then he kept giving it away, and it was an awkward, very horrible experience for both Hato and Garnacho on that left side, and Badiashile. But once he changed it, the complete and utter transformation of the game occurred. Actually didn't occur straight away. I thought for 5 minutes of the second half, West Ham were really good. But then when Chelsea got a goal, they're a young side. It's part of their development, but you shouldn't always need a goal to swing the momentum of a game. Obviously, it really helps, but you should be able to change the momentum of a game if you're a top side without that. And again, just a simplification of the football, getting it forward, putting it into the box, getting bodies in there, doing simple things, and going 4-4-2, which is what I've seen in the last couple of weeks by a few teams. And all of a sudden, Chelsea looked a completely different side. So it's what Chelsea we see. I mean, they've won in Napoli. They've come back from 2-0 down against West Ham. They've demonstrated that they've got the quality to win in difficult places or come back in games where they look beaten. So that's a real good thing for them. But they're not the real deal, but they should be in the top 5. They should be in the top 5. And it wouldn't surprise me, and Villa fans are not going to like me for this, if you actually, Liverpool, United and Chelsea all ended up in the top 5. It wouldn't surprise me if they got hunted down, Villa, but not that I want them to, because I actually think that it's good for the Premier League that Villa have emerged and got in there, and they've got a really good manager. So a lot to play for.
I just want to ask one more, and you weren't expecting this, but just outside the top 6, am I fair to believe that one of the most remarkable stories is Brentford's. Thomas Frank had gone, and Burma had gone, and Norgard had gone, and Visser's gone, and a rookie coach called, well, in the view of the public, he wouldn't consider himself a rookie coach, but Keith Andrews come in. They got 36 points. They're just outside the Champions League places, and there was a kind of assumption in football that they were about to crash.
Struggle. Yeah, I think we all did. And I've met their owner a couple of times, and he's a thoughtful, knowledgeable, intelligent, shrewd football operator who knows what he's doing. So that's the one thing that when Keith Andrews was appointed and they lose Mbermo, they lose Visser, they lose Norgard, they lost Tony obviously 18 months ago, you think there's going to come that point, a little bit like Southampton did for many years when they kept sort of trading their players. You know, they kept trading players, didn't they? And eventually it caught up with them. You thought, well, this could be the year that it catches up with Brentford. And I thought it would be the year that would catch up with Brentford. I think it's a remarkable performance of what we're seeing. And again, it's very sort of modern football, but trusting the process of what they do at Brentford and trusting the data and trusting the actual ideas and the players and the recruitment and sticking with those players and believing in the coach and the manager and the decisions that they're making is what Brentford have done better than most in terms of punching well above their weight. So it is an incredible story. And it's been we're getting a lot of surprises in the Premier League this year. Teams that are dropping points that shouldn't be, teams that are doing better than we thought, and Brentford are right up there at the moment in respect of sort of what would be team of the year for where we thought they would be. I think that's fair to say.
And that brings us full circle, really, because everything is measured against expectation. They're going beyond theirs, and the whole Tottenham story is around the massive expectation at this club.
Yeah.
And that's been met, at least for 45 minutes today.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gary.
Another good football weekend.
Yeah, terrific.
Thanks, Peter.
A point which has, Gary, all sorts of ramifications.
Tottenham first?
Why not?
I mean, I thought they were done half-time. Not just done in the game, by the way. I was like, I know a Tottenham fan pretty well. He said that he's been coming for 40 years as a season ticket holder and he's not been as disillusioned in that time. It was eerie. The atmosphere from minute one in the game was non-existent. It's as if this just switched off, the Tottenham fans, almost as if like they're completely and utterly, they're turning up because it's what they do, it's what football fans do. But there was nothing there, nothing on the pitch at all, no energy in the crowd. And such a stark difference from what you believe a Thomas Frank team is. And at half time we were talking and I just thought, this is not going to go on very long. This is a massive struggle, and you feel then sad because you know sort of what's coming. And I thought City in the first half, to be fair, were in second gear. I didn't think the City were playing brilliantly well. I thought at times they were a little bit complacent. What we've just seen in that second half is a reflection of Tottenham's character, that Thomas Frank has got something out of them, simplifying the game. A back four that really should have been caused all sorts of problems but weren't. They really stood up, Archie Gray and I think Paulinho on that right side of the defence in particular, who were out of position. I thought they were fantastic in that second half. Conor Gallagher in midfield I thought was very good. And then just putting a front two. Maybe we'll discuss front twos in this podcast because we saw Pablo and Castellanos for West Ham last night. We saw then Delap and João Pedro in the second half. And then obviously today we've seen Kolo Muani and Dominic Solanke. It's as if centre-backs can't deal with simple things, playing the ball forward, getting it into their chest, putting balls into the box. It's returning. There's no doubt the game is swinging, and we're going to probably start seeing more pairs emerge in this next 12 months. I can see it happening. The 4 games I've watched this weekend, the fourth one that I've not mentioned is in League 2, Salford. They also play with a pair of strikers and they're good too, and they're a handful, and I just love seeing it. I absolutely do. There was nothing worse than I think playing centre back when you had a pair of tough strikers. The first pair of strikers that I ever played against in the A team when I was younger was Graham Sharp and Ian Marshall, and they were playing for Oldham I think at the time, and they were in the Oldham's A team or reserves or whatever it was, and they remember beating me and Chris Casper up. And always thinking, gee, that was hard work, and our youth team coach killing us. But you see Kolo Muani and Solanke in that second half just mauling Kusananoff and causing Gay problems. Last night, the same with the 2 pairs of centre forwards. But what we've seen in this second half is the Tottenham fans at the end of the game clapping. And that's nice to see, because I thought it was going to be a very dark second half, actually, and moody, and I thought that this stadium would be empty at 75 minutes. So it's completely and utterly bizarre. What you have to say is that you can't say it's something to build off for Thomas Frank, obviously the European performances as well, but he needed to start doing something here in the domestic games in the Premier League, because it's been such poor form. They only won 2 games, I think, here all season. That's not changed today, but they can maybe go in tonight. They've got a lot of injuries, which is a massive factor, and then pick themselves up. They've got Manchester United here next Saturday. Yes. They have. So big game coming up next Saturday
at Old Trafford.
Oh, it's at Old Trafford, sorry. It's at Old Trafford next Saturday. We haven't got that game, have we? No. So, I think, yeah, a bit of relief for Thomas Frank, because I think he's a really good manager, and I really like him. I really like what he did at Brentford. I thought his teams epitomised character, spirit, energy, fight, aggression, physicality. The total and complete opposite of what I felt here in that first half, but they've shown a bit of that in the second half, and maybe there is a formula. Solanke went off injured towards the end, so I might be speaking too soon, but maybe there is a formula of playing 2 up top and just being really aggressive and going for it and simplifying the game back and putting crosses in the box, getting Conor Gallagher and Basuma and Sarr pressing onto people and just basically being quite physical, dropping the sort of passes from the back from Vicario into your own 6-yard box. I'm sure I actually saw him pass the ball backwards at one point in the first half from the 6-yard box back to the byline, which is just bizarre in the position that you're in. So, yeah, a completely and utterly unexpected game today. And from Manchester City, nowhere near good enough. Nowhere near good enough. In the first half as well, when you look back, they're in second gear and you should have killed that game off. I mean,